Peace and love, infinite beings. I'm a giant divine. Now, listen, when you are thinking about spirituality versus morality and understanding that you're in war, right? So, how are the people who are orchestrating this programming, this matrix? How are they attempting to program you? And what do you actively need to do the opposite? Because you cannot be stuck in morality of what is right and wrong because they're dealing spiritually. They're playing with the spiritual energies and the spiritual law and getting you to destroy yourself. Because spiritually, in dealing with spiritual law, they know they cannot actually force anything on you because that's going to have consequences and come back in a way. But if they can get you to destroy yourself and keep their intent pure of what they put it out for and what their programming says, because we get to choose our own programming. So if their programming says that, hell, sacrificing children is a transference of energy because murder means nothing. It is only a transference of energy. These children were predestined for this. Because if you know how all this shit works, every soul agrees to the contract when they come. So if that is their programming and that's how they're looking at it, then they're not going to receive the same comeback as you would think. Because they're playing in the spiritual energies where your intention and your programming is all that matters. So what's right for you may be wrong for someone else. And you can't it's gonna sound crazy, but you can't it has to be across the board. So if you say that your intentions and someone else's don't have to be the same, but y'all might have the same action, that goes across the board. And the same thing as where different actions can have the same intentions. It's all about how you program it. If you think about like curse words, people are programmed to think of these words, shit, damn, fuck, ass, bitch, all that shit, as something, as something negative, as something, it's a programming. And some people are desensitized to it and they say it all the time and it doesn't mean anything to them. They're running a different programming. So they can't be, they won't be, by universal law, they won't be held responsible as if they're being negative when they're saying these things because that's not the program they're running. But for people who are running that program, you will be judged accordingly because you made your own programming. And that goes all the way up. That goes up into the killing, the manipulating, they are simply manipulating energies and putting in programming. Manipulating energies, playing in the energies, and developing programming to control the masses. That's it. That's it. There is no morality behind it. They're running a different program. And that program for right now is benefiting them in the 3D. But that's the only place that it can benefit them because that same programming cannot run in any higher vibration realms, frequencies, worlds, whatever you want to call it. It cannot run there. So with Earth rising, people rising, like the actual literal vibration, with all of that rising, that programming cannot stay. It cannot go with the ascending people ideas. It can't exist in the same place. It doesn't vibe high enough. That programming is outdated. If you want to run Windows 98, then go ahead. But you always missing a lot of features, right? That's what's happening. And as all of us are starting to realize our features all these extra upgrades and things that we have when we stop plugging into their programming. And then if you go deeper, understand that it is limitless because you are not this body and you're not bound by this body. What can you then channel through this body? That's our superhero. That's our superpowers. That's the stuff that they make movies about. But we cannot get there running their programming. And they know that, and that's a part of their gamble to keep people in the realm where they still matter. Because everything is happening at the same time. So if you want to stay in the realm where they still matter, then you stay on that frequency and you keep running that programming. But understand that the people who created that programming do not work in morality. That is a program they put in there to keep you under control, to keep you in fear, because fear keeps you from rising. Your moral compass is inside of you. A child knows right from wrong when it comes to major things. Not don't touch that shit, like when they hurt another child, when they hurt themselves, when they know right from wrong. Intuitively, that's something that's embedded. So who needs morality? That is a tool of control. But the people who created that, they are dealing in spiritual energies, and they create these programs like morality to control people. It is time for us to start working in the spiritual energies like the people who are creating programming and create our own programming. Start with your own life. Deal with the spiritual energies of it, not the right and wrong, not the guilt. Don't feel guilty about a motherfucking thing. It's silly. But what you need to understand is if you want to do something different and you're being called to do something different, then you need to do something different because the energy that's going to come back to you based on you denying yourself your growth, not listening to your spirit guides, your ancestors, your intuition, your nudges, God, the divine, whatever it is you want to call it, and not honoring yourself, you're going to get that energy back. And you need to be free to express and explore yourself free of morality, but understand the energy behind what you were doing. Understand the intention behind what you were doing. Don't just be out here doing stuff because you think you can do it, because you can. But have you truly sat and contemplated the spiritual implications of what you're doing? And the one way around that is to come with everything with a pure heart, without judgment, without morality, and let spirit speak about what is happening and what needs to go forth. Throw your right and wrong out and let your discernment reign. Because everything is just information. Everything is data. Just like they collecting all kind of data everywhere. You can't go nowhere without cookies and shit being installed. Ooh, that shit bothers me. But they're just collecting data. Everything is data. And then what you can do with that, it's up to you. And that's up to your programming. And that's up to whatever apps you got, whatever upgrades and features you have. But take in all the data, because when you deal in morality and you deal in these things that make you shut off because you become disconnected, because you're judging it, so you become disconnected from it, you shut yourself off from source. You shut yourself off from your spiritual growth, because it's all data that you need to be able to take in and get what is meant for you without creating division, because As without, so within. So we have to come out of the morality of this. We have to start dealing in the spiritual energies if we want to understand the world and what people are seeing unfold. That is a program. That is a programmed world running on the people's energies. And they want to keep people there. It's a literal trap. Right? That's why people love trap music. It's a trap. That in itself is a spell. What you name things, how you empower things. Like I said, they are putting stuff together because they do deal in the spiritual energies. So when they're doing music, right? Selecting who's going to be the big artist, that is a way for them to instill programming to get unsuspecting people who have no idea of the spiritual energies to repeat mantras and to draw energies to them and to put out certain energies. It's all programming. Everything that they are putting out is programming. Is everything you putting out programming for your own world, for yourself, your internal world? Is everything you putting out programming for yourself? Are you walking in the path that gets you where you want to go? How is your program running? Whose programs are you running? And are you going to continue to run them? And morality is one of those programs that has to go in order for us to tap into our full selves. Because you can't judge something without cutting yourself off from it. Now you can use your discernment to figure out what it is you're supposed to do with said data, but you cannot cut yourself off from it because that is still an expression of source in some way, shape, or form. And you can no more deny source full expression as anyone can deny you full expression. It's all data. What are you going to do with said data? That's it. What programs are you running? Who designed those programs? And are they, if someone designed a program and they not running the program themselves, then you know that program is for something else. How you going to design a program and not run it yourself? They're not running the same programs. They're not running racism, sexism. They're not running those programs. Those are the ones they use in their little matrix they created to empower themselves and to empower their ancestors and empower the spirits and energies that they work with. Because they can get the masses to unknowingly commit to their rituals and their programming to channel that energy to wherever they want, whoever they want, however they want. So it's not just TV. It's not just music. Nothing is just anything. Everything exists in multiple levels, on multiple timelines, and multiple everything. Take control of your programming. Now is the time. Now is always the time. This is not a one-time thing. This is going to be the goal for eternity for people to get out of this vibration. It's just a board. That's it. When you're ready to run new programming, elevate to the next level, new levels, new devils, when you're ready to do that, you do. So, what programming are you running? Whose programming is it? What is their goal with it? And what are the fruits of said programming? Look around. Look at the results. And it's not that they sucked at it, they're great at it. That's why it's like that, because this is the results that they want. But so many people, it's so dope, and so many people are like, and Neil starts like in the little pod thing, like he's waking up in there. Like, that's so many people are tossing and turning, open their eyes too much, go back to sleep, toss and turn. They feel it, they know, yes, it's time to go. It's time to go. The calls are being put out all over. So many people are stepping into their roles, to their soul, fulfilling their soul contracts, and the time is always now. The time is now, but this was an exciting time that we all came for. So it's time to do it. Run your programming, create your matrix, master yourself, and master your world. We are literally the creators of our worlds. What do you want to create?